Tim, thanks very much.
Nick Hewer's with us, being naughty, sorry. He's been Lord Sugar's right-hand man since the very first episode of The Apprentice. And tonight, Nick Hewer returns to the boardroom along with everybody else. We have been lucky to have a sneak peek. And for their first task this year, the candidates have to sell a shipping container full of goods in various different varieties in just one day. We're going to be hearing from Nick about how the new batch measure up, because of course he was with one of the teams. First, shall we have a quick look at tonight's episode, where already, surprise, surprise, tensions are beginning to show? Here we go.
Let me speak to them.
It's all right, guys.
No, listen, I need to speak to them. Do you not understand that? I said it about 7 times, mate.
Listen, what do you want to say?
Listen, I said it 7 times. I want to tell them where to sell those jackets.
See, listen to me.
When I'm saying to them 7 times, because I said to them 7 times.
All right, well, here's the 8th time. Ring them back.
Yeah, they're here. Hello.
I'm the person who knows most about the costs. I should do the next sale.
I do this every day. I run 3 businesses, all of which are sales. And no offence, you're a doctor.
How dare you? You cannot possibly say that. Can't possibly say that.
I was going to do this, so I should do it, to be honest.
I really don't think you should.
Why
I really
not?
don't, because I think I'll be better.
Why do you think you'll be
Because
better?
I know the figures. Do you know the figures?
Well, you just told me you got them written down, so all I have to do is look at them.
And you'll memorise them in that time?
Yeah, I think I can memorise a few figures.
Oh, I have to watch from behind the cushion. It's like Doctor Who.
Morning, Nick.
Good morning.
Well, the countdown begins to another... Get it?
Thank you.
To another revelation. And it struck me watching this that the candidates seem to be even more obnoxious than before in terms of their self-aggrandizement. You know.
They certainly are well-defined characters, aren't they? They come roaring out of the screen at you, which from a viewer's point of view, of course, is good, because they can identify exactly who's who. Yes, they have strong opinions about themselves.
They set themselves up for a fall, though, don't they?
In a sense, of course, they make these grandiose statements in order, I suppose, to be noticed right at the very beginning at audition time, and then, of course, they're sort of saddled with them. But when it's all over, believe me, trust me, they're okay. When it's all over, they're good kids. Okay. Most of them.
Well, yes. So, but what is it? Why do we have to encourage them to say these ridiculous lines? And what was the Stuart Baggs line?
I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm a field of ponies.
Did he? I mean, and subsequently, we expect now for your candidates to come out with this. Really believe them?
I think Alan recognises them as being appalling clichés. But of course, they've delivered them. It's not something that the programme entices out of them.
Oh, really?
No. They need to be... Thousands of youngsters want to be picked.
Yeah.
And those that are picked are those who are noticed. And that's the...
And in a sense, by making the last 16, they've already won, because they've had to hack their way through the jungle of other applicants.
Thousands of them, tens of thousands. So they've got to be noticed, and that makes the strong, you know, frankly, overconfident characters get through. But let's just cut back to really what it's all about. It's about business lessons, genuinely about business lessons. But if you were to get a lot of very, very boring, quiet, intellectually powerful business people in there, nobody would watch it. It's business lessons submerged in a soup of great entertainment. But the lessons are still there for the young people.
It's not a job, of course. It hasn't been a job for
it's a quarter of £1 million on the table.
But then who is that for a 50% share of whatever enterprise?
Yeah, what you've got here is something that no young person without any collateral or experience would get from a bank. Is a quarter of £1 million. And Lord Sugar sitting at the opposite side of the table as a co-partner, as a 50% shareholder. What a gift that is.
But when you look back at some of the fantastic winners there have been, I mean, think of Tim Campbell at the beginning and Inventor Tom.
Yeah.
They're not these loud, brash, caricature kind of characters. They are the thoughtful, more powerful business people.
You make a very good point, because Tim Campbell, the first winner, who now runs the Bright Ideas Trust, which is a very worthwhile charity, of which actually Margaret Mountford is a trustee. We didn't notice him until sort of episode 10. He crept up on the rails.
But now you get told off for not being noticed, because Lord Sugar says, but you know, what are you doing there at the back? You can't expect to kind of ride on people's...
When I say not being noticed, Suzanne, I mean not being tagged as a strong candidate to win. Okay. The interesting thing is, excuse me, that we all spot the winner in episode 2. We think, oh, there's a disaster in the auditioning. And then in episode 3 or 4, they implode. It's fact because others are learning and gaining strength. And that's what happened to Tim.
Of course, in business terms, you've been branching out. I had the honour of being on your very own programme recently.
You were a wonderful guest.
Well, you're very kind.
We're talking about Countdown.
Countdown.
Yeah.
It's tough on the old intellect, that is.
It is. It's a very demanding thing, isn't it?
Yes, except for you, because all you've got to say is Countdown, and then you don't actually have to work out any of the words.
Well, I try. When I first started, I spotted a word and I shouted it out. It was conifers. And then when I asked the candidates what they'd got, they said conifers.
Yeah, it was a 7.
And we had to redo it. It's very tough, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very tough.
What's your mobile phone ringtone? Is it do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do?
It should be. I think I've heard enough of that. We do 5 shows a day. And we do 15 shows in a block. I've heard enough of that.
Oh, yeah. Prokofiev.
All right.
You hear enough of that as well, I expect.
Very good.
The Apprentice starts tonight, 9 o'clock, BBC One. The second episode at the same time tomorrow night. You're spoiled this week.